I'm going to spank it.
What are you making?
This is my homemade bread dough. From scratch. Potato water, mashed potatoes. What else is in here? Milk, sugar, flour, some bread flour. That makes it nice and light. And now I'm going to roll them out. And this is my Runza filling, which has hamburger, lots of onion in there, and whole cabbage, which I sliced up, diced. And then you just saute that a little bit after you do your hamburger. And use just a little bit of the hamburger drippings just to kind of make the cabbage a little more moist for flavor too. Add salt, pepper, Mrs. Dash. I added some garlic. Like I said, that filling has 3 onions in it. And it's messy. I'm a messy baker. And you roll it out, not too thin, not too thick. It's hard to say, and I probably needed to do it on a different surface. I wish I had my mother's breadboard that she had made for her at the standard planing mill. And it was just the right size to roll out her bread on for Runzas and Greppel. Are you still filming me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's hard to know how thick to get it. So I'm just going to trim off these ends here. My first ones are always kind of a sample, because I don't make these very often. You can see my potatoes in here, my mashed potatoes, but they will dissolve. So let's just try this. And you can always stretch your dough.
What do you call these, Margaret's bunses?
No, I call them Runzas, the original German Runzas. You can always stretch your dough out a little bit to make it fit. You don't want to get them, the secret is not too thin, not too thick, so that person. And my first one, like I say, I'm not the best at making these, but I try. I know I have a lot of filling. And my mother took the opposite ends like this. And then she made sure she had flour. And she pinched them together. And if you make a mistake, don't worry about it. Sometimes you get a little bit more dough than you wanted to. Just do a little patchwork. And sometimes they got too much dough on the bottom, but that's the way it goes. No, I like to cook them on parchment paper. It just saves from, now this one isn't a very big one, but I think it's a nice shaped one. Let's see how this next one turns out. I need lots of room, don't I? I think I can cut them just a little bit bigger the next time. But some people like them bigger, some like them littler. I always say you can eat more than one if they're too little. And sometimes I get too much filling in them, and then I run into trouble. But you can squash it in there a little bit. You can take some of that off too if you think it's too much on there, too much dough. And you can patch if you got a hole. You can always patch a little bit, like a patchwork quilt. The dough is good to eat. It's nice and sweet. I like a little sweeter dough. Now see, I got that top a little thinner. That one might break open a little bit.
This was without egg, right?
Yes. Because Margaret
dough.
Margaret forgot to put eggs in her dough. That's how long it's taken. That means I haven't made dough in a long time. I'll try to make these just a little bit bigger. But maybe I won't because they should all bake about the same time. I think I've got about the right consistency of my dough. It's working really well. I added half bread flour and half regular flour. I noticed that the bread flour really makes a nice light bread. Easy to work with, it raises nice. And the secret to making my bread rise really good, I heat up my oven, just warm it up. You do not want a hot oven. Then I let it cool down just a little bit, and I put my bread dough in there, in the container. That Tupperware is old. It's made a lot of bread dough. And that one turned out nice. Then I poked a hole in it. Easy to fix. How's that going so far? Pretty good?
Good.
Oh, and I made deviled eggs over there too. You can look at my deviled eggs. Those turned out really nice. I love to make deviled eggs. Deviled eggs are really good. I had mayonnaise, mustard, and I love pickle relish in my deviled eggs. So that's what a little salt, pepper, sweet pickle relish. And I think I'm going to have to make my dough just a little bit bigger. Cut them. But I like lots of filling, and I don't like a lot of bread on it. But we'll see. My first ones are always a challenge to make because, like I say, I'm doing good to make these once a year.
How long do you bake them?
Oh, 20 minutes, 350, till they're nice golden brown on the top. It varies on ovens, you know. You might have one oven that bakes faster than the other, but see, those are nice. And then I put a little oil on the top, which I forgot to get out. But I'll finish this one, and then I'll oil them down a little bit. Let them set for maybe 15 minutes, and then I'll trim this one out a little bit more. I think I need another scoop. That would help. Then I made some plain cabbage ones for Sherry. She doesn't like the hamburger. Now, you can eat runzas with gravy on top of it. Years ago, when we used to go to Gold's Cafeteria, 10th and O, 11th and O Street, they would have runzas, and they called them runzas. And they would have gravy. They asked you that you wouldn't like gravy topped on the top of yours. Now, us Germans, my folks never had gravy on ours. We were the ketchup lovers in our family. We loved our ketchup. So we ate them like a hamburger. Boy, that dough is light. I could probably get one more on there, but for now, that's all I'm going to do. Now I'm going to get a little oil out. And I'll do a little. Then I just use my fingers. Cooks, it's always best, just use your fingers. That's what your hands are for. Years ago, they didn't have all the tools we have now to make it easier to cook, bake. They mixed with their hands. They ate with their hands. All right. Now I'm going to leave these set, and then I'll bake them. I didn't oil my parchment paper. I'm going to see how brown it gets when I do bake these first ones, because these I know we'll eat today. What do you think, Bob? My video man.
They look good.
Do they look good? Now let's
Margaret's Kitchen.